Wait! I know that you are going to play Where Winds Meet on release in a couple of days. And if you've never heard of the game, what are you even doing here? Just go into the video description and check my other videos on the game. I have a lot. You should check them out. There are a lot of things that I wish I knew before I started playing the beta version of the game, and that I'm very happy that I know when I'm going to start the release version of the game. And these things will ensure a smooth start into Where Winds Meet for you, so I thought I'd just share them with this video. So before we jump in, if you want to see more content on Where Winds Meet, just feel free to leave a like and also sub to the channel, because that would help me a lot to grow and to provide more content to you. And if you have any other tips that I didn't cover in this video, please share them in the comment section. But let's jump right in. The first tip is about the first decision that you have to make in the game between Drunken Precision and Rhetoric Edge. And not knowing the game, I was completely overwhelmed with that decision. I thought, like, does this have a huge impact on me? Well, no, it doesn't. Because while many YouTubers tell you that this is a decision, it actually isn't. You will unlock both benefits, so this is not a choice. Just a preview of the two abilities that you will unlock right from the beginning. Drunken Precision will make the minigame Pitch Pot a little easier, which is a game about being drunk and throwing something into something. And Rhetoric Edge will give you more action points in the minigame Gift of Gab, which is a game where you insult NPCs and they insult you back and you try to win the argument. The next tip is about the settings of the game. So if you start the game, I recommend you go through all the settings and fine-tune them to whatever you like. And I made a whole video about which settings you should choose. If this video is already online, you will find it in the top corner. If not, just wait a couple of days. But there are specifically two settings that I want to talk about. The first one is about auto parry. So the game technically asks you at the beginning if you want auto parry or not. And I think that if you choose a low difficulty, it will be activated by default. So what that does is it slows time whenever you are about to get hit, and it will give you a prompt to auto parry, which makes the game far easier. And I think if you are into action RPGs and into games like Sekiro, for example, you should absolutely deactivate it, because that is not how the game is supposed to be played. And I also kind of recommend going with a high difficulty, because that's the whole point of the game. There's one bigger reason for that, because if you go into the MMO mode of the game, and if you go into the raids, and if you go into PvP, auto parry will not work. So you should not get used to it. So do yourself a favor, choose the higher difficulty that is available from the very beginning and deactivate it. And the second one is about the treasure hunt mode, because I highly recommend you turn that on. This option allows you to destroy objects in the game world, which ultimately allows you to find loot. But it could also lead to a wanted status, because you can destroy property of NPCs. But honestly, I think that just adds a fun component to the game. The next big tip is about Oddities. Now, this is something that completely blew my mind, because I gotta admit, I absolutely missed that one, and I found it out like 1 week later, and I was just mind blown. If you find these symbols on the map, always collect them. And afterwards, speak to a NPC with this symbol. The first one is actually locked behind a side quest, which is not really easy to miss, but I somehow managed. And maybe someone else does as well. And if you go to this NPC and hand in the oddities, you can upgrade your character a lot, including your character's stamina to move. And I literally just doubled my stamina just by finding the NPC way too late. So always collect oddities and always hand them in. Very important. The next thing is, I think many players want to know how you do this awesome flying ability. Eventually, you will unlock a flying ability, but you will not be able to use it. And here's why. To use any lightness skill in a certain region, you need 3,000 points of exploration in this certain region. So basically, you have to hit level 4 in that specific region. And that means that you will unlock a special item that allows you to use lightness skills in that area. And that doesn't really take too much time. Honestly, I just recommend unlocking all the quick travel points in that area, and this will already get you close to 3,000 points. And then you just do some more stuff and you should be fine. And you should do that whenever you unlock the first flying ability, because using that looks good, it feels good, and it helps you to get around the map like way quicker. But here's another tip tip if you want to get around the map quicker and you are not able to fly yet, because there are mounts in the game, and somehow I also missed the mount side quest at the beginning of the game. And if you do miss this side quest, there's an easy way to unlock a mount, and that is by just snatching one. You can just go to an NPC with a horse and just do the GTA move, pull him down, take the horse, and you unlock it. The next tip is about the breakthrough function in the game. This is extremely important. I don't know why, but in the beta it was so hard to find that I lost my mind. So whenever you hit a certain level, you will have to break through your world to the next phase in order to keep leveling. So if you don't do that, you cannot level up and your rewards will be worse. So you can do the breakthrough by just basically pressing the button on the top corner of your screen, which is about mode switching to MMO mode. And if you have solo mode selected, on the right side, you will have the option to break through when it is available. And I tell you, always do that right away. Whenever you have the chance to do it, do it. Because all the rewards in the game world will be way better afterwards. The next tip is about investing resources into your martial arts styles and the fact that you can reset. So as you know, there are no weapons in the game, but martial arts styles based on weapons. And you will unlock them one by one, so you won't have all of them at the beginning. So resources in this game are very scarce, so you should focus on your two main martial arts styles always. But if you are just not sure what style you want to play, I recommend just at least going to level 20 with all the styles that you are interested in, trying them out, and then you can reset them. And you will receive 80% of the resources that you spent. So try to find out which two martial arts styles you like the most and then upgrade them to max. And before that, try out different styles and just reset the points. And if you have enough resources and you have already maxed two martial arts styles, I recommend you try to prepare a second role, because as you know, there is DPS, tank, and healer in the game, and I would always prepare at least two roles to fill in case your raid needs someone to fill a certain slot. And I also kind of recommend to always skill one healing martial art, because if you do solo content and world bosses, your healing items are limited, and having a healing martial arts style ready just helps you to finish all the content far easier. The next tip is don't sell or destroy old armory and weapons. Put them into your arsenal. This is basically like a place to showcase all the gear that you have earned in the game, and doing so will give you permanent stat bonuses. So before you destroy or sell anything, go into your arsenal and try to press the add all button, and after that you can sell whatever you don't need. So next up, I wanted to clarify how the martial arts styles work in the game and the weapons and stuff like that. So you might have realized that there are multiple martial arts styles in the game and not just weapons. So each weapon can have multiple different styles. So you have strategic sword and you have nameless sword, but it's both based on the sword. And you might have realized that they have a specific type and also a specific style name. And you might be wondering, like, how important is that? Well, first of all, you can use whatever style you want to use with whatever style. So you can just combine whatever you want. That doesn't really put you in a disadvantage. But obviously, it is wise to focus on a certain role, specifically for the MMO mode and the raids and the co-op stuff. So this is very important. So the first one that you can see on your weapon is the type. It's either saying DPS, tank, or heal. So I recommend that if you go into MMO mode specifically, you should try to pair DPS with DPS or tank with tank or heal with heal. But that is of course up to preference. But for example, as a healer role in a raid, it's obviously easier to heal if both of your weapons have healing abilities. And the same goes for tank weapons, obviously. Besides that, you will realize that two martial arts styles have the same style name. This is not impacting gameplay or strength in any way. This is just a recommendation of the game which two weapons work very well together. And it also gives you more info on how to use them together and what the optimal gear set is to use with them and which the optimal internal arts are that you should equip. So you could just go the easy way and just use one of the recommended combinations that the game offers you, but don't feel forced to pick two weapons from the same style name. The next tip is about medicine in Where Winds Meet, because it works like a flask in Elden Ring, which means you have a limited amount that you can use before going to a quick travel point to refill them. And the amount that you can use is actually increased with these oddities that I spoke about before. The problem is these refills are not infinite. They can go empty. So in order to refill potions, you will need potions in your bag. And if that is not the case, you will have to craft new ones. So you can just click on the potion, how to obtain, and that will help you to find the crafting station to do so. That is also the reason why I recommend to at least level up a healing martial arts set, even though it's maybe just a third set, but it will help you to clear certain content that is maybe too hard. The next tip is about the topic of diseases, because you can get a permanent disease or injury and that needs to be treated. You can do that by going to an NPC, but that can get very expensive. Now, I spoke about sects in the game, which are basically schools, and there is one sect that is about healing players. And their goal is to heal a certain amount of players per week, so you will always find a player healer. Just go into the world chat, ask for a healer, and I'm pretty sure hundreds of them will come to you and heal you. But these are just my main tips for the game that will maybe help you to get a smooth start into Where Winds Meet. But what is your tip for other players that I didn't cover in this video? Please share that in the comment section below. I'm looking forward to it. And maybe we can just make a library of tips and everyone can just come to the comment section. Okay, that's just great. And if you didn't know, I am going to run a guild on the European server. So if you are from Europe and you want to join my guild, just check out the video description and join the Discord server. And I want to create a fun community about having internal tournaments and stuff like that. So just check it out. And I'll be doing more videos on Where Winds Meet over the next days. And I already made one about sandbox elements in the game and sandbox social features, because there is a lot. Guilds, brotherhoods, discipleships, bonds, hero bonds, sects, which are schools, and so much more. So you should check that video out. You can find the link in the top corner. And I gotta say that I kind of blamed how deep the sandbox of the game is, but I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong. Every time I watch a video about the game, I learn something new. So I feel like I'm still just scratching the surface of Where Winds Meet, and I can't wait. And I also made another video where I'm going over all the settings in the game so you can find the right perfect setting that you should eventually change. So if the video is not out, something else is being shown right now. But if the video is out, just click on it. I think it will help you out to smoothly start into the game. And if you don't have the time for that, thank you for watching this video. I see you in the next one. Have a good one.